We meet again. Are you ready? Bloodlines, Chupacabra, Chapter 7, Part 3, The Door. Morning came as Sandra was in the shower, once again, huddled on the bottom of the tub. She knew she couldn't turn back. She had tried to summon up the courage, having promised to help, in order to finally put this whole thing to rest, and hopefully find out what had happened to Laura. That motivated her to get dressed, and head the cafe nearby for coffee. She couldn't fathom eating just yet, even though her stomach was gnawing at her. She just didn't feel like it. Once outside, Sandra saw the three men waiting for her, looking at Cal, his face drawn, but he looked a bit more rested than she had. Larry holding a cup of coffee, and Father Flanagan had just come back from the church, had gotten up earlier than usual, due to Larry's snoring, as one of his earplugs had fallen out in the middle of the night. Larry was up bright and early as usual. All right, folks, everyone fed and ready to go. Looks at Sandra. Sweetheart, I know this is a lot. I got you some pancakes just in case. I know you couldn't eat. I saw you sitting by the window this morning. Hands her the container, nods as he jumps into the Jeep, followed by the rest of the crew. Sandra reaches out her hand to take the to-go container. It was very thoughtful of him. Thanks, Larry. I'll try later, I promise. I couldn't nerve it up this morning. Larry dips his cowboy hat. No worries. Finally, on the road back to Sandra's stomach seemed to ease as she decided to dig into the pancakes that Larry had given her, still warm, and they happened to be blueberry. Those happened to be her favorite. How did he know? Larry had a gut feeling. In some way she reminded him of his own daughter, whom he was estranged from since his wife had passed away, and she needed her strength. Well, here it is. I told you the truth, and now you can see it for yourselves. Once we get down inside of that cellar, brace yourselves, okay? Cal's eyes went wide with curiosity. This is all too surreal. Sandra, however, was not quite as excited as her camp pal. I have a really bad feeling that we shouldn't be going there. Father Flanagan, eyes wide, yet looked like he would rather be anywhere else in the world, felt the same way. Pretty much everyone feels that way, and this town being so dilapidated as it is, don't help much either, Miss McCoy. Pulling over on the side of the road across from another farm at the beginning of the driveway, Larry glanced at the remnants of a gate laid down on the ground. The hinges must have rusted away years before, and an old brick walkway that had since broken and chipped away. The front porch swing hanging off of one of the chains, the railing fallen off, and the stairs looked sunk in and about ready to crumble. Larry let out a puff as he actually lamented having to climb down into the cellar. We're going to hoof it from here, just in case someone else will see the vehicle and know that we're here, and I have ropes and a ladder, so we don't have to worry about sliding down the coal chute. It's the only other way in, but it's unstable as is. A voice from behind startles the trio. The voice came from an old woman who was standing right behind them, bony and frail. She stared the four of them down with her cold black eyes. You damn right about that, she croaked with her withered face frowning at them. None of you should be here. Now get. And especially you, Larry Whitfield. Oh, your granddad had no sense, and messing around with things he knew nothing about. This whole town, or what's left of it, is cursed, and everyone knows what happened to him. That damned curse that your family brought upon it. Shaking her long bony finger at them and a scowl on her face at the sight of outsiders with Larry, the old woman scowled at the four of them, pointing her long bony finger directly at the man as she retreated inside the farmhouse across from the street, slamming the screen door shut, still casting the gaze of her piercing black eyes upon them. Father Flanagan let out a, well shit, old lady Crenshaw, hell I thought she died. He gritted his teeth, then glared at the old woman. The old woman glared, her spectacles pushed down near the end of her pointy, crooked nose. Her black beady eyes gave Cal a chill that ran so cold, he might have thought she was a witch. It's your family curse, and you came back here it knew you would, and has been stalking this town again for months now, because of you taking outsiders over those hills into its territory, just like your no-good grandfather messing with its meal. That thing really did him in, when he blew his brains out. Larry groaned at her accusations. Hey now, I didn't ask for this, but we have a woman gone missing 4 months ago, and I know that it was the beast. I didn't think it was possible. You are not one to judge. Your own son went missing 55 years ago, didn't he? Yeah, so my family isn't the only one with secrets, so you better just hush up, you old bat. Old Lady Crenshaw's face grew long with sadness, and then anger. But it was your granddaddy and his brothers that brought that thing here first, and now you gone and done it again, curse upon you, and it has marked you, boy, believe me, it's gonna come for you too, just like it did your granddaddy, and you're going to end just like he did. Larry sighed heavily. She had gotten on his last damn nerve. Old woman, you're batshit crazy, out of your mind and senile to boot. Now go on, get out of here. Go back to that dusty, rotted mausoleum of a house you live in. Old Lady Crenshaw turned to walk away, but before she did, she had one final warning. Don't say that I didn't warn you. No one in the God-forsaken town is safe. Business is gone, and all within the last few months, and all of the residents but a few can't leave. We ain't got the means like your kin did. She opens the screen door and spits in serious disdain, and almost as if to further curse them for their sheer stupidity. Old Lady Crenshaw was still sneering at Larry with those damn eyes as she walked away slowly to her house up the rotted porch and inside of her screen door, then backed away, slamming the inner door shut, several locks to be heard from inside. A curtain slowly moved as a gaunt, ghostly face appeared in the dirty window, still glaring at them. The four of them just turned their backs to the old woman, ignoring her rants of insanity, heading down the driveway to the farmhouse. Father Flanagan chuffed at the silly old woman. Never mind her, she's a complete nutcase, especially after her son Rory went missing. Sandra half snorted as she laughed at the nutty old lady across the street. Nice neighbors, Larry, geez, she says sarcastically, as she rolls her eyes in the direction the old lady went. Cal looked shocked more than amused as Sandra had. What do you mean went missing? Larry removed his hat as he sat on the bumper of the Jeep. That Cal, my friend, is an understatement. She was a real piece of work, and blaming my family for her misfortune when it was her husband that gambled their saving away, then drank himself to death, and then Rory, her son, he wasn't right in the head as a kid. From what my aunt said, he was born deprived of oxygen at birth. Father Flanagan thought he felt the need to explain and to answer Cal. I remember playing with Rory as a kid, and he wasn't exactly what you'd call all there, but you are right, my uncle told me the same thing, that been deprived of oxygen at birth, and I always believed she blamed herself, and over time it just made her so incredibly bitter. Cal put his thumb and index fingers to his chin, squeezing it. Huh. Are you sure he didn't just fake his death to get away from her? I mean, she's not exactly the warm and fuzzy type, is she? He thought of her like a kid would of an old witch in a Disney film, like Snow White, or that creepy swamp witch in legend. Sandra was just too curious, and the cat was out of the bag now. Wait, so then what happened to Rory? You said he went missing, but she says it was the Chupacabra, she asked Larry. End Bloodlines. Chupacabra, Chapter 7, Part 3. The Door. Thank you so much for staying around and listening. Take care, and keep the nightlight on if you must. Till next we meet, good night.